Alright, so it's time for the doctor to talk about this console parity thing. Now, I've seen a lot of people online, they're making a huge deal about this. Huge deal. They're highly upset. You got people that are ready to boycott versions of games because the developer told them that they're going for console parity between the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions of their Multiplat game. And people are getting salty about that. But the funny part is, the people that are getting salty about that, the people that are threatening to boycott said game because of that, are kind of exposing themselves as casual gamers. Because anyone that's been gaming for a long time would know that this is nothing new. Developers have been doing this for generations. But the difference in this generation is that for pretty much the first time, the most powerful console on the market is the market leader. In the past, like for example, the biggest example would be during the PlayStation 2 era. Out of the PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox, the PlayStation 2 was the least powerful. Games, multiplats, were made with the PS2 in mind because it was the market leader. The GameCube and Xbox were quite a bit more powerful than the PS2. And it's pretty funny because the games were made to be parity pretty much with the PS2, there were people then and still even now that were so retarded that they believed that the GameCube was less powerful than the PS2. Which is strange because I can't think of one multiplat during that generation where the GameCube version didn't look better than the PS2 version. Them niggas still to this day think the PS2 was more powerful than the GameCube. No, and no. But because of console parity, it appeared that they were on equal footing, even though that was not the case. And nobody really made a big deal about it. Why? Because the PS2 was the market leader. Most people owned a PS2 over the GameCube and Xbox. Now, this generation, we are at the opposite. More people own a PlayStation 4 than both the Wii U and Xbox One. And the PlayStation 4 has the best graphics. So, when they find out that a system like the Xbox One is quote-unquote holding the PS4 back, niggas get mad about it. But these same dudes were not upset when the PlayStation 2, the almighty PS2, was holding back the GameCube and the Xbox. If you weren't a freaking casual gamer, you would realize that this is the same freaking thing. Now, when developers make a multiplat, that is what their goal is. To have the games look similar across all platforms as possible. That's why they make their engine scalable, so that they can look, for the most part, the same across everything. Yes, even PC. These PC guys will tell you, oh, it looks so much better on the PC. For the most part, with most of these multiplats, that is not the case. Yes, it runs at a higher resolution, higher frame rate, but the game is built around the console version of the game. These games are made to parody each other. That is the purpose of a multiplat. To be pretty much the same across everything. If you want a game that takes advantage of your hardware, that's where exclusives come in. That's why usually exclusives are the best looking games on the system. Because that's what they're designed to do. Showcase what's so good about the system. Show you what the hardware can do. Now, I have no interest whatsoever in the Xbox One. I plan to get a PS4 soon. Now, would I prefer that developers took advantage of the PlayStation 4 as much as they could? Of course. But as history has shown, generation after generation after generation, when it comes to multiplats, that is not going to happen. Period.